Hello everyone and welcome back to what is actually quite a nice day over here in Newcastle. It's international break now, which I believe is probably the perfect time to have this. Once we get back, 10 more matches in the Premier League to go. Let's get out there, let's give it our all, and let's make sure we can obtain as many points as possible and ensure we have some form of European football going into next season. And I think it's also crucial that we get it as well, especially after what was a bit of I would say a warning message from Bruno Guimaraes after the Manchester City game. He's came out in social media and he's expressed his disappointment so far this season. And the last thing I want to do is try and make a video where I'm scaremongering. I try and say something that's going to make you guys feel something quite negative. But the reality is, I was bricking it after what I saw from him. So we're going to talk about that in this video today, try and explain a little bit more about what it actually could potentially mean. On top of that, we've got a few other things as well. Just a small thing being that Newcastle United will be heading to Melbourne, Australia to take on Tottenham 3 days after our final game of the season against Brentford. Why? This is not a pre-season break, by the way. This is quite literally one game. You're going across for one game, they're going back, and then spend a couple of weeks with their families, and then they come back again for pre-season. It's just a one-off game where they're travelling what is going to be a 24-hour flight. This is by the way, a 21,000 mile round trip. I can't believe I'll go to Australia. We'll explain a bit more shortly as well, but yes, I will be going across to Melbourne. I'm looking forward to going to Australia. Never been that far in my life. It is the other side of the world to take on Tottenham in just a one-off game. However though, it's going to be a nice holiday. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm sure you guys will enjoy it as well. So make sure you get down there, hit that subscribe button, stay up to date on my videos, and then you can actually see the Australia vlogs. I didn't think I'd be going down under, but yeah, we are. Look how cheeky are you? Look at that. that's not even my cat. No, stop. I'm confiscating that from you. Let's start things off by questioning why are Newcastle United actually travelling across to Australia the second this season ends. It's not a pre-season break. They're going across for one game and then they're coming back. Why are they doing that? Well, I think the first and most obvious thing to take into account is Newcastle's exposure in the world. They're trying to help globalise our brand more. Especially when you go to these pre-season tournaments, you realise how big football actually is. Went across to America in the summer. The amount of people that are going inside football stadiums, they're buying Newcastle shirts, they're buying shirts of whatever team is playing on the wall. $100, they're going in there, they're buying Newcastle tops, they're buying anything Newcastle merchandise related. They're buying so much. And for the club, on the FFP, straight away, it's a lot of money. And Newcastle would have got offered a lot of money to go on this trip. Chances are the Premier League or there'd be a major organisation that would have just went, Newcastle, can you come across here? We'll pay for your flights, we'll pay for your hotels, we'll give you X, Y, and Z amount of money for making this appearance against Tottenham. They'll get offered a shed ton, and it's going to be huge for them to actually go across there, earn some major money that can actually go into the summer window, can actually go back into the club. And it's the first and most feasible reason why I think Newcastle would do this trip. Because why else would they be going the second this season ends? We've got an injured, fatigue squad that is going to be knackered by that point. They would have played Brentford last game of the season. Chances are the games are going to go down to the wire. It's going to be huge in the Premier League. It'll be exhausting. And there's an unfortunate possibility where it could also not end well for us, so those players, after potentially revealing that fate, have got to then go on a 24-hour flight to Australia. It's a lot for the body. It's a lot for your mind and for the players to be so out of it. So it's a weird one in that sense. And also on top of that, there's Euros on this summer, so any player that is part of the Euros just won't be travelling across. So there'll be no Nick Pope when he gets back, no Trippier, there'll be no Gordon. A lot of our big European stars, and as well as that, I like to potentially Bruno Jordan if he gets back. Some of our Brazilian stars as well have actually got things such as international friendly. So it's a weird time for Newcastle to be having something like this, but on top of that, Newcastle would also want to do it for the fans out in Australia. They would probably have more fans, so to get their club across there. We haven't actually been there since 2014, which was New Zealand. That was unfortunately what happened to the two Newcastle fans and the flights. So it's been quite a long time since we've actually been there. And to go back now, it's something that we haven't touched in a while, so we need to try and grow the fan base more out there. But for me, my honest opinion, as someone who will be spending a ridiculous amount of money to go across there, my honest thoughts are, I don't get the point of it. If you're going to go that far to Australia, you either have a tournament, you have it as your pre-season break, not one game and then come back. I don't understand it in that sense. I'm assuming Newcastle's going to spend a little bit more time out there. You wouldn't just play the game and come back surely 2 days. I don't see that being feasible for the players, but it's a weird one. I don't understand it at all, to be honest. They're all playing at the Melbourne Cricket Ground, which is actually a 95,000 seater stadium with also a potential 5,000 people standing up. So well over 100,000 people can actually attend that game, which is just massive. I've got to put these cat treats here because you keep trying to steal the food. But yeah, it is important for Newcastle to try and get something like that done. I just think the timing's odd. The timing is odd. It's at the end of the season after everything that's happened. I don't know. For me, I don't agree with it. As for Bruno Guimaraes' warning message on social media, what did he say after the game? He came out on X and said, struggling to find words, disappointed to go out of the FA Cup. We have 10 games left to save our season. Oh no, is that honestly what he said, to save our season? That is terrible. When I first saw that, I was fearing for my life after that one. I think that's probably one of the worst things that one of your active players can say, not just an active player as well. One of the best players in your team, someone at your entire squad. You would hope over the next few years you have the entire squad built around a player like Bruno Guimaraes. The fact that in his eyes we have to save our season now, I think says a lot about where the players' mindsets are at the minute. They think it's not good enough, even though for me or for you watching this video might think, well, let's say now Newcastle were to finish 10th. Is it the worst thing in the world? No, you probably would say, especially after some of the horrible cup luck we've had this season, as well as the injuries, the suspensions. We've got all sorts going on. But the fact that the players are actually coming out on social media and saying that we still need to save our season, I'm terrified. He's a player that I can actually see potentially going out the door in the summer if Newcastle are unable to get European football. It's quite big for not only attracting players to the club under European football, it's also quite big for keeping a hold of your best players as well. Bruno is someone who already has a release clause in his contract. Any team outside the UK can buy him for 100 million euros. That's been put in by Bruno and his agent. It's a bit of a get out opportunity if it's a case that they do potentially want to move on in the future. But the fact he's put that in social media, I don't like. Straight away, I'm actually quite worried by that. Like, honestly, now, the fact that he actually is saying we need to save our season makes the next 10 games even bigger than you might initially thought. And I think in the position we're in, we probably should still be getting European football, because it's likely that England's going to get the extra Champions League spot, which would then mean that 7th and 8th would then be important. Chances are City's going to win the FA Cup, or maybe someone that's already in that European spot. I don't think Chelsea will win it as much as they may potentially do so. I still think City are going to win the FA Cup, which means it's not going to be too bad for us. But for European football, we've got the likes of West Ham, Brighton at home. We've still got to play Man U away, Tottenham at home. We've got some nice games in between there. We've got to play Burnley still. We've got some nice fixtures. Brentford's last game of the season as well. With the exception of Tottenham at home, every other game I think is realistic we can actually win. I don't think there's any excuses at all with the games you have now. There's a lot of games out there we can go out and get 3 points. Listen, the FA Cup's over and done with, Champions League's gone, the Carabao Cup's gone. Still got the Premier League here. Let's go out, let's play those matches, and let's make sure we get some big results in. And let's make sure we put ourselves in the best possible position for the summer. And then once we get to the summer time, we can then potentially think about next season and think about what players are going to stay and what players are going to go. But in the case here, Bruno Guimaraes, his warning message on social media, definitely need to obtain it now. If we don't get European football, I'm struggling to see him stay next season. I think especially after something like that, it's not a comfortable message I think you probably want to see after going out in the FA Cup to Man City. So it's important for us to get the job done, not just for him as well, but for our players we have. And I think we'll be alright after that stage. So let's see how Newcastle get on. Still got a few big Premier League games coming up, and we've got to do it. We have to do it now. No excuses. We've got to get the job done. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down below on that, guys. It's a fascinating one, the Bruno stuff. Again, I think it's a horrible treat to see after a defeat like that at City. Definitely makes you brick it a little bit. And then on top of that, we're going to Australia as well. So we've got a few things planned, and that's just the news that's came out in the past 48 hours or so. So we've still got a lot of things that are going to come out during the week. I've got plenty of videos planned during the international break. As you can see, I'm back home now, so got plenty of things that can get done. Appreciate you all watching though. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I don't want you to kind of walk away from this video and all of a sudden fear for the world. I definitely don't feel that, but just know that we need European football. So just make sure that when we do get back, we'll give it our full support, and I'm sure the players on the pitch will reflect our support and getting big results out there. So take care. I wish you all the best, and we'll see you all in the next one.